to a party with friends, and there's such a sweet girl I met. She told me her name was Teresa. I haven't got over it yet.
Bridget Teresa O'Reilly O'Toole, if there put me off right away, for I'm from the Shankill Road, Belfast, and you know what my mother would say.
I went up the Falls Road to see her one night, such a charmer I couldn't resist. But her 17 brothers, they caught up with me and gave me a terrible fright.
Bridget Teresa O'Reilly O'Toole, they sure shook this good orange land. And if ever my lord gets to hear this, I'll get a big kick from my dad.
I fell in love just the same. Her priest didn't like it at all, and the night I proposed her, I sang her the sash on the steps of the Yale-Witch Hall.
Bridget Teresa O'Reilly O'Toole, we married and things are just grand. I go to the football each weekend to cheer on the Blues from the stand.
Her mother and father, they give me a chill, for we have 6 children and more. It's because of the names I selected. There's Sammy and Luther and Bill.
Bridget Teresa O'Reilly O'Toole, we live in a house at Accordion, and up on the wall we've a picture of King Billy crossing the point. Bridget Teresa O'Reilly O'Toole, we live in a house at Accordion, and up on the wall we've a picture of King Billy crossing the point.
Yes.
I hope you were all singing along. Welcome, everyone. It is Saturday evening. Bridget Teresa O'Reilly O'Toole there with a different set of words than I always heard Willie Rock singing, but hey, nothing like originality, isn't that true? Let's have a wee look. Alan McGraw, welcome to you, and also to your good lady wife. I saw her as well, but the text has disappeared off my screen. Joshua Morris, Davy Logan, Senga Crichton, Mary McKee, Harry McArthur's in Glasgow, Elaine Tucker, Lisa is watching, Jennifer McAllister in Craigenee, Guy Bryan, Adrian McAvenna, Ian Campbell, Keith McEnany, Teal Sinclair's in Dover, Thomas Robert Willis is watching, as is William Smith, Peter Gardner, Gavin Hazlitt, Walter Lyons is in Ballynahinch, Elizabeth Graham's watching, Caroline Hughes, Graham Kenny, Dougie Atkin, Norris Louis Main, William Torrance, Justin Gibson, Billy King, Karina and Ray McHugh, Miriam Webb in Rathcoole, Kyle Michael Roy, Roberta and Eddie Baird. Apologies, Roberta, I changed your sex on you there. Edward Fellows, Glenn Miller is watching with the Britvic 55. With what? Britvic 55 plus. Susan Stamping McCann's watching. Good evening, Susan. How are you? Muriel's watching. Hopefully Daddy's watching there too, unless you've been buried below the patio. John Hewitt is watching in Liverpool. Sam McMullen. Billy and Margaret Gilmore are in Port Glasgow. John Dowling is watching in Lisburn. Leslie Miller in Londonderry. Carl Porter is also watching. Sadie Moorhead wants to know, can you please play Highland Cathedral by Cambuslang, Britannia? I can't. For one very good reason, because tonight should have been the annual Blood and Thunder competition ran by Lisburn Young Defenders. But unfortunately, COVID. And we have with us this evening, although we can't see him because we're trying to get him to turn his camera around All we've got is blackness. He's staying a mystery man. He wasn't going to arrive on the show until... Oh, we've got him! Yay! Good evening.
My phone's back to front.
Good evening. Come closer. Come closer. We can just see you.
Oh dear.
Technology, Ian. Technology, huh? All good fun.
You were getting pictures of the wife and her family there, and that's what I wondered in the whole thing.
What are you wearing?
Right, I'm going to have to work at this, but
What are you wearing? What are you wearing?
I'm wearing my hoodie.
And it looks like a uniform. Stand
Yes.
up so I see it. Oh my goodness. I've seen everything now. I've seen everything now. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Well, while you're fixing the camera, I'll read out a few more texts very quickly because I'm losing them. Trevor Monaghan's watching, Tony McHammond from Carrick, Peter Gardner in Liverpool, Hugh Solomon in Loyalist Clackmanahan, Sadie Muirhead is watching, David Sheridan is watching. Is Victoria not with you this evening, David? Because, you know, I got used to the David and Victoria were both here message last night. Joy Cullen was enjoying the starting song. Great, we sing along for starters. I think we had that in our Loyalist Carrick before, but we'll definitely have it in the next one. Ian Henry is watching from Corby in Northamptonshire. Brian Goody is watching this evening. Looking forward to tonight's picks. Robert Geddes says super LYD. Ryan McGuinness is watching. David Graham, Tommy Lloyd in Loyalist Liverpool. Robert Goldsmith is on. Alan Finlay, Reggie Cullen, Helen Joy, Jimmy Graham, Morris Wart, Jim Kerr. There's almost 300 of you on. So welcome to you all. For tonight will be a... Ian, you've made the choices. Is it going to be a good night, or what are we in for tonight? What kind of night are we in for?
I think we're in for a good night. It's going to look at bands throughout the years, going back 10, 12 years, maybe longer.
Good job. You said that you had sent us notes before you come on, and you said that the Blood and Thunder Night's been running for 15 years.
Yep.
That's a long time.
It is. It started really because bands were looking for something to do rather than street periods, and early in the year it was giving them an opportunity to go out, have a night's crack, meet some new band people, and just at the start of the season get yourself ready to go. You
always like those new concerts early in the year because you get the chance to try out the new tunes. Well, let's go to your first clip, and your first band are Sons of Ulster de Moor. Why did you pick this one?
We clipped from 2013, and the big thing about this, it was from On the March. We've had, in the last couple of years, 3 very good guys who have turned up and travelled long distances. But in this one, Neil took it, and he took it from a slightly different angle. So it was just probably to give you an idea of the venue and a wee warm-up. Excellent.
So everyone enjoy Sons of Ulster de Moor. This is them in 2013. See, Neil is in there with a wee comment. Best way to hear the flute, stand behind them. Absolutely. Sometimes when you're at the front and they have a big drum corps, you can hear nothing. Neil, Ian, you're still on mute, dearest. While you're getting unmuted, I'm going to read out a few more text messages because there is just loads coming in. I'm missing some, so do apologise if you've texted and I haven't read you out. Sylvia Slane, Richard Redford, Sam McMullen in Whitburn, Stonyburn. William Scott in Cumber, Jonathan Julie and Ross in West Lothian. Neil Glass says, here, miss. Good, glad to hear. Ron Bailey is watching, as in Barbara Miller, Jackie Mullen, Jacqueline Landa, Ian Henry. Colin Johnson says his Sunday roast is in the oven. Is that an invite for us all, Colin? I hope it's a big roast. Dan Pettigrew is watching from Pennsylvania. Dan, lovely to have you with us. Hope you enjoy our wonderful music this evening. Billy Rainey is watching from Greenock. Ronnie Bean in Irvine, Scotland. Chris Connor says, God, how I miss getting out on the road. Don't we all, Chris? We absolutely do. Robert Brown is watching Pat Craig in Dublin. Alan Knox, Sam McMullen is asking for a wee bit of Anzacs. Oh, I wish I could play it. I wish I could play it. There's only one clip of Anzacs I would play. Stephen Feely wants to know any chance of our three bands tonight. Never happy, Ian. They are never, ever happy. Honest to goodness, never seen the like of them. Sonia McDonald is in Cornwall. Jimmy Graham wants to know what time the Muscahounds are on. Jimmy, yours getting as bad as I am. You're going to be the fourth Muscahound in a minute. Ian Nicholson's watching. Dick Robertson, James Robinson. Glenn Miller is loving your hoodie, Ian. Do you all have those or is it just you?
No, and I think Glenn has to be thanked for this because he put a post on advertising it. And I followed the post up and it turned out to come from America, but I got it before Christmas and I think it was Glenn Miller that gave the lead. So thanks a lot, Glenn.
It does look pretty cool, I have to say it. Look, if you had a full band done out in that there, it would be a whole lot cheaper than uniforms, would it not?
Yes. And
yes,
it fits. But the only uniform that fits at the moment.
Even with all the excesses over Christmas.
Yes.
Kenny McClintock watching, Robert Gilmore's watching, Sam Hamilton, Stevie Charles wants to know, are you working on a lifeboat? It's a band uniform, Stevie. Can you not see it? My goodness. It's got the cuffs and everything on it. Hold up your arm there, Ian. Look, cuffs and everything. It's brilliant, I have to say. And the epaulets and all. It is brilliant, absolutely. Richard Redford is in Belfast. Ronnie Hyman says hello from Port Russian. He's in the buggy tonight. Amy Forrester wants a wee bit of Ballycraigie Owl Boys. JJS, lots of people talking about 55, as if I didn't know what the number 55 is referring to. I think it's a sure thing, guys. I think we're there. Robert Cairns is watching in Galashiels. Eddie Torney says no point asking tonight. Jim Fitzpatrick is in Bangor. Susan loves your hoodie. Walter Lyons says we could do another sash bash. We probably could, yes. Joanne Wright says that you are a big fashion icon. He's at the cutting edge, Joanne. Absolute cutting edge. Now, tell me this. Your next clip up are Lambeg, Orange and Blue. Tell me
Indeed.
when.
2013 clip. Firstly, they're playing Penny Arcade. So everybody who's looking for 55, this is a cracking little clip for you. And the other thing, just to show us time goes on here, Caesar, I think, he could have been talking to somebody outside and not made it in when the band played. But in this case, it's Stuart Adams and the bass drum. So cracking wee clip from Lambeg, Penny Arcade.
I think it's just because Caesar's getting old now.
Can I just say though, Ian, the clip that you sent me, the date on it is 14th of March 2015.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, then that must be it. Hopefully it's Penny Arcade. Rattle away, and if it's not...
You can tell we're a highly professional outfit here.
Let's go back to this.
Caesar says that's 2 weeks in a row. I'm getting at him. He's still only 21. Sure didn't know it well, Caesar. I was only 4 or 5 years behind you in school. I know you're only 21 well. Joshua says I'll sing Penny Arcade instead. I think we'll give that wee one a bye ball, Joshua. I don't think we'll bother with that at all. Ian, dear, take yourself off mute. And just in case I would maybe let you get a word in edgewise, just be ready to jump in when you can.
It was a wee timing issue. If you look at that clip, actually, Penny Arcade is further on in it, so it's a wee timing issue, but it wouldn't have made any difference. Caesar was still sitting where he was sitting. Caesar was sitting with his feet up with the pipe and slippers out, is what you're trying to tell me, Ian, isn't it? Follow that before him. Let's see. We'll get a few more of these texts. There's so many texts. Thank you all for sending them in. I love seeing them coming in. I just hate not being able to get through them all. Gillian Johnson's watching in Derby. Jim McElrath watching. David Milligan and Carrickfergus. Alan Knox is watching. Robert Geddes advises to have a few more red wine and you'll be fine, Ian. So there you go. Stephen McKinney says hello from the tune. I have to say, having a few drinks on the show actually helps with the pronunciation. Roy always says I speak better when I'm having a wee gin. Martin McNair's watching in lovely Londonderry. Jackie Mullen says hi to both of ourselves, Roy, and I'm sure she includes you in that, Ian, as well. Robert McFall's on from Larne. Billy McDonald is on. Victoria Sheridan's late in. My goodness, Victoria, but good to see you regardless. William Clockworthy wants Ballycraig Sons of Ulster at the Own Parade 2016, and that's from Hilda Clockworthy and Antrim. Not tonight, I am afraid. I'm not sure whether Ian has Ballycraig Sons of Ulster on his list tonight, but keep an eye for the viewer's request. Post going up. It'll either be Monday or Tuesday, just whenever I remember. Ronnie says Mark and Jean is here and having some of my bucky. You just tell him to leave your bucky alone. Ronnie, that's for you. William X70 says no surrender for Scotland. Jim Ritchie says that last night's show was one of the best. There you go, Jennifer. High praise indeed. Alan Potters is watching. William X70. Irene Sheen. Neil Glass. Well, we've mentioned Neil. Martin McNeil says Kenny Clark asking for any Crimson Star Newton Breda. Funny, I don't think that's a band we've had on. Have we had them on, Roy? I don't think so. I'll have to check the list. Colin Stockman says nice to hear a hymn being played. Did we have a hymn? Was one of those a hymn? My first one was a hymn. Okay. Guy in the back row looks like he was playing 2 flutes. Alan Potter's eating licorice, all sorts. My goodness. And Caesar is in the house, as we know, because he's pulled me up for his age. Christina Martin, Andrew McConnell, Roy Fisher in Southern California. Well done to you for everything. Well done for living where you live. Sandra Higgins is watching, as in Caroline Hydra. Margaret McConty Thompson is listening from Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. I think that's right. Welcome, Margaret. We are delighted to have you on. Rob Spears is from Brodie Road, Glasgow. Glenn Miller wants to know, could you turn around to see the back, Ian? Aye. It's like a modelling job. Oh, what? Oh, bend. No, don't bend down. Hunker down.
Ian, don't bend over. Just bend down. Just bend the knees down so people can see the back.
Oh, right. And in a squatting position.
Yes.
Oh yes, very cool.
Back up a bit, up. Whoa.
We saw it. Looks really cool. Well done. I love that. Stephen Quinn's watching in Monday Hall. Welcome, Stephen. Ronnie says hello to Eddie Brown. Alan Graydon's watching Lisbon Law. Billy Moore's watching. Diane Steele's watching. Kenny McClintock. I am going to stop reading texts for a minute or two just to be talking to you, Ian. My goodness. Oh dear. So how are things up there in Lisburn?
Things are okay, much like everybody else. Tough times, just trying to do work in the background. Wee bit of grant money that came about there recently, which we've been able to avail of, and got a phone call tonight with hopefully good news to say that we will have the feet on the street.
Oh, wouldn't it be great? I'd say it'll be slow getting started and, small getting started, but it gets it back there. It absolutely does. I don't know. Do you think we'll have big parades this year? Do you think we'll have our normal 12th? I can't see it.
It's certainly work going on in the background. I don't think it'll be as we knew it, but they're certainly trying very, very hard to make sure that we do have some sort of a 12th.
No, as long as, you know, even local bands in the town is good enough for me. Anything at all that means we can market, and hopefully we're at that point. But I don't think we're at the point yet where we could have, you know, like the whole country landing in Londonderry in August. I don't think we're at that point just yet. But I don't think we'll be there in August neither. But it's good to at least get us moving in the right direction. Now, your next clip, Ian, is an accordion band.
Wasn't hopefully.
No, you put two clips of the one band in, so we had to take one of them out. We took that one out, the one you had in third place.
No, because that's okay. The next one, okay, yep.
Yeah.
Next one's a band you probably haven't played a whole lot of, but over the years I had seen up in North Antrim, and a little village called Unseverick. It's got a pub, a school, a church, an Orange Hall, and an accordion band. A very loyal band for a long number of years, working with Orange, Black, and Apprentice Boys as well. So that's a cracking wee clip, and the relevance to this is that they were in the same parade as we were in Larne at Black Saturday, and it's Andrew Brown has taken it, who I assume with David Brown as his father, who's the bandmaster, and cracking wee clip showing the massive crowds in Larne, and we weren't far behind them working up. This is Unseverick Accordion Band at Black Saturday in Larne.
Super wee band, you know, quite a few in it, and they are, fair play to them, they are always there. They are a great wee band. Looking forward to this one.
Okay.
Brilliant angle there, obviously taken from the bass drummer. Very loud bass drum. But I have to say, in the front row there, it was Chris and Laurie Elliott, and that's, I have to say, the angle that I usually see them at, because I'm usually in the lodge behind them, but playing turbo well. Great crowds there as well in Larne. It's always wet in Larne for some reason. I see it must have been having a skiff of rain that day as well.
It was, yep.
When I think of Larne, apologies to anybody living in Larne, but when I think of Larne, I think of grey, because it just always seemed. Denise Gordon thought that all this 55 stuff was for her birthday. Of course it is, Denise. Of course it is. Absolutely. Jimmy Graham says, well done to the mem, getting the most votes in the latest poll in London Dairy. I saw a comment on the Dairy Now page. Did you see it, Ian, where was somebody said there must have been a concerted campaign in order to win this? The last time I looked at it, I think the mem hall had like 78%, and the other four had like, they were all beneath 6%. No concerted campaign whatsoever. Did you vote, Ian? I hope you voted.
Yep.
Good man. Good man. Ian Emerson is watching Colin Harper. Kenny Dummigan from Larne, the home of Dummigan's Accordion. Apologies, Kenny, but it is grey. John Dowling asks, is Ballinran on your list, Ian?
I haven't heard them Blood and Thunder, but John would know better.
Ronnie Beverlyn says, hello, Roy, just from across the road there. So you may give Ronnie a wave, Roy. You could give him a wave out the window as much as anything else. Martin Mary Kesher K is watching in Irvine, Lancashire. Irvine, Ayrshire. Ballinram probably won Blood and Thunder this year. The Blood and Thunder night. David Johnson's in Enniskillen. Chris Baxter in Port Stewart. Sam Dixon is watching with the doggies. Are we getting a reappearance from Sam and the doggies at the Blood and Thunder night, Ian?
I don't know it up and down, but yes, certainly more than welcome.
There you go. I thought they maybe had a clip with them in it. That's what I was asking. James Reid is watching in Darvel, East Ayrshire. Johnny Malcolm wants to know, are Achilles young volunteers on? Johnny, the only way that you'll find out is to keep watching. Unless you paid Ian money. Did you get any backhanders, Ian?
Not yet. But I would say if a band has turned up over the years, more than likely they will be on tonight.
There, that's a clue. That is a clue. Billy Leaper is watching. William Adams, Dougie Wood. Jennifer's last pick last night of the Sash mixed was one of the best. Well done, Jennifer. You are getting some praise for your list. Glenn Miller said it's Ian Naomi Campbell on the UBF catwalk. Jimmy Graham says it's bloody Yoda. Do you know Jimmy Graham, Ian? Is that why he feels that he can insult you?
But insulted the worse.
Let me tell you, you need to be thick-skinned to be on here. You absolutely do. Jacqueline Gillespie's on in the show road. Harry MacArthur's watching. Jacqueline McNeil. Edith McDowell Shields. Robert Williamson. George Frame is a wee bit late tuning in today. He was celebrating the Jers. They were playing today, weren't they?
Yeah.
Fun. As if it was in doubt. As if it was a doubt. Mike Jones and Sonny Warrington. Trevor Lennon wants to know, is a hood headwear and how would it be judged? What do you think, Ian?
Don't know.
I do not know. Honest to goodness, they are mad that watch this. I think you have to be mad to watch this. That's probably one of the criteria for getting on. Eddie Allen's watching from Larne. Or from Ards, sorry, I'm changing people's sex tonight and I'm moving them in country, so I'm doing well tonight. Now, your next clip up is going to keep Roy happy because it is Pride of the Main.
It needs no introduction. 2018, Pride of the Main playing Purple Banner.
I think that did well for an introduction as well.
Yep.
What have you done to us, Roy? that was a super clip, I have to say. Well balanced between the drums and the flute core. And cracking timing for the wee guy in the bass drum. Colby Barr, is that the right name, Roy?
That's exactly the right name, Colby Barr. And his dad's the fluter in the near the, well, one row in from the back, George Barr.
Cracking timing he has, absolutely. Phil Mackay, love their drumming. 2 nights in a row, Adam says to please Roy. Very young bass drummer, brilliant band, quality musicians, happy looking characters. They're fluting, Eddie, regardless of what Ian said last night, or what Roy said. Ian, can you flute and smile at the same time?
Oh yes, we have men can flute and smile and wave
and talk. I do know there is a gentleman in the back row of Money Dig, and I've never actually seen him with the 2 hands on the flute at the one time. Everybody will know him, Geordie. He's constantly waving and fluting, but he does flute away. But he's constantly waving. I don't know how he does it. I look for him every time just to see how many hands are on the flutes. Let me see. I saw a wee comment earlier on. Raymond Christie says, I'm looking powerful. Well, thank you very much, Raymond, but it's not going to get you in the show. Give me compliments. Ian chose tonight. So he did. Derek Williams says he is just out of the shower and lying on the bed, drying off. Image I really don't want in my head. But he says it's great seeing some of the Light of Foot team on here this evening. Of course, Ian, you are involved with, along with Roy and myself, in the Light of Foot team. And I know it's something that you are really passionate about. You're involved with Merge, isn't it, as well, in Lisburn?
Yeah, it's a big thing at the moment, and I would encourage everybody that we're all missing the bands, and it was part of a routine that we were all in. And when you get knocked out of a routine, then you do search for things to do. So there's no doubt that there have been an awful lot more people and young people coming forward needing help. And it's a big issue, and I think that one we can all get behind and work with each other here to keep strong, keep going, and get back into the band scene, and then work together with each other.
Absolutely. And people say that it's good to talk, and that's not just a saying. It actually is good to talk.
No, we did a few things, as you probably know, just before lockdown, and went out to see a few different bands, and really, really good feedback from it. And Derek Williams, there you're talking about, obviously was a big player in this whole thing, but a lot of others, and particularly some of the girls, have contributed well to go out and just step out and talk to people, listen to people, and do some good work.
Roy, would you check a wee check whenever Ian's talking, he's not coming up big on the screen? I don't know whether that's something you can change at your end.
He will now come up big on screen.
That's no bother. I have to admit that whenever Derek Williams, who made the comment, when he first came out talking about his mental health struggles, I mean, I think the thing that unites probably all of us within Light of Foot is that we all have, in some degree, either known someone who's had mental health issues or had mental health issues ourselves. And I'm quite open about the fact that I suffered through depression and burnout and all that kind of stuff for many, many months. And I think once people saw someone like Devil speaking out and being so open and so, like, people sort of looked at it and went, if it can happen to someone like him, then I'm not really odd after all.
There's no doubt, and since that, and obviously a huge shock and losing some people, and some people that were there right in the middle, and without getting into names, but you know who I'm talking about, that there was that real amount of shock's the simplest thing, that people who seemed larger than life and aren't here anymore. So it's a massive thing to look out for people and then try and guide them to the help that's there. Yeah,
and normally I would say that a band scene is the perfect situation to do it, because if someone's starting to miss band practices all the time, who would normally always be there, then it's always the occasion to sort of pick up the phone and go, you all right? Do you want me to come and lift you? Everything okay? But of course, we're not really at band practice, so it's even harder for more senior members in the band to kind of go around their members, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no doubt it's difficult, and when you have a band that's spread out, sometimes if you're living in an estate and that sort of thing, community centres and things will help you see people. But when you become more spread and diverse, it's quite difficult to keep in touch. And but you are right in what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah. I've always said that bands are a really ideal network for, looking out for each other. And we do that anyway. We absolutely do that anyway. When we see someone week in, week out, you tend to notice if they're off form more than usual. With that in mind, I think your next piece of music, Absent Friends, is really appropriate. Just to remember all of those who haven't had the ability to speak out and aren't with us any longer. But it's a super version of this, isn't it? Do you want to tell us who it's by?
Yeah, Gold Springs from Cumber, a band I don't think you've played an awful lot of, but this was in 2012. And if you say this was them, hopefully if we got it right, this is them playing Absent Friends.
I have to say, there's so many bands that I keep looking at them and go, oh, we should have these guys on more often, but it's so hard getting them all in because they're all really, really good. And Gold Springs definitely are one of the ones up there. Now, someone made a really good comment in the comments there, saying about, Eddie Allen actually asked, the video footage is extremely good, but is there any drone operators that are willing to move the band scene to the next level? And I know there are a couple, one of whom is with us this evening, Mr. McPeak.
Yes, I've been replying back to the comments, and Glenn had said most drones don't record the sound, which they don't. But if you stand close enough to the band with your controller with the phone, you can do a screen record, which records the footage that you're seeing, that the drone sees, as well as recording on there, but also records the sound around you. So you can record the band with their sound, and then he's saying about how you match it up. But because you've got the exact same footage and exact same sound recorded, it's easy to match up again. And then the software that I have on the computer allows me to match it up. So I can now do that.
Yeah, I was going to say that it's one of the things you can do with software is you can, have what they call like pointers in it, so that you're, like you're setting the two of them both on exactly the same pointer at the exactly same time. And if I remember correctly, one of the bands that you did with the drones last year was our own Lisburn Young Defenders. Were you in fear, Ian, from a drone smacking you in the face?
Haircut time for a while.
I know. That's always my fear. You did crash it one night in Kilkeel, didn't you, Roy?
I've had a couple of crashes with the previous drone. One crash with the previous drone that I had up at Knockan Monument when I was doing Rascal Brothers and Boys. And then when I went down to Kilkeel to do more Young Defenders, the drone just completely malfunctioned and just dropped from 50 meters up. And DJI said it was complete software. It was just a complete software failure. It wasn't operator error.
So it is something you have to be careful with. And funny, because I used to work for a company who that was part of their actual job was flying drones around cemeteries, believe it or not. But there is a lot of rules around drones and where and when you can't use them, and flight paths and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely an interesting addition to the scene. I know what you do, and I think there's a couple of other ones that have just started meddling with it, but it's providing some really great footage, I have to say.
It is, and it's just something that I wanted to take a little bit further. I'd originally bought the drone for going with Rascal Pros and Boys over to France, and I've just decided to try and take it a bit further and get better footage and everything else. But you also have to be careful. I've done my drone course and I've got my insurance and fully registered as well. So,
so there you go, Ian. If it landed in your head, you were good for a big claim.
He got offside quickly afterwards. He apologized. Wait, they're half cool.
Now, your next band. Tell us why you picked these guys.
Well, one of the reasons that as I said at the start, that we held the indoor was to that we could go back to other bands and to their parades. And that was a big thing. They said, look, we'd like to come back to you, and that was part of the reason for it. But this certainly is, I think, the only band from East Belfast who has appeared. I know a lot of them don't do indoors and don't like them, but Gertrude Starr in 2015, and it shows the work that the drummers put in sort of in the winter months. But there's a clip from Gertrude Starr.
Funny, I remember Ron telling me once that way back, I think Gertrude Starr were one of the first bands to do the Ulster Hall, and they said they found that the work that they had put in to prepare for that concert really turned everything, and just took them that step upwards. And indoors can be really, really useful for that with bands, just to fine-tune everything, bring it up a wee step from where you currently were, and provided you take it with that attitude. If you just take it as a night out to get pissed, then you're never going to improve. So this is Gertrude Starr. China will be loving this one. Absolutely brilliant there, and you can definitely tell. You're right. You had made a comment saying about the hard work that they had put, the drummers especially had put in. It's fairly obvious there in that clip. You can definitely tell.
Yeah.
It's just not on the head. You can't complain. You can't complain about not getting a word in edgewise whenever you just nod your head when I give the chance.
You covered it all.
Neil says 60 years of the Gert this year. Hopefully, I have a band fan TV special on Tuesday night. And Glenn Miller earlier on had actually said as well that Emerge was the focus of the Mid to Parade podcast. So if you can capture or catch both of those to catch up on them, that will be good, I'm sure. Robin Hall came up with a good suggestion. Maybe bands should appoint a member to keep in touch with all the members of the band during lockdown. His wife is in a group and it's known as Almoner. Her job is to keep in touch with all the members. She contacts them at least once a month for a chat. Apparently, that's also the role of a chaplain in the lodge as well. So similar concept. You know, they're meant to be looking after both the spiritual and pastoral health of the members. So if you're a chaplain, hopefully you're ringing around all the ones in the lodge, asking about them. Diane Steele, with her comments there, is obviously board your wooden spoon tonight, Roy. And is stirring it there with China. Quite right you are. Now, your next one is a brass band.
It is. Lisburn is very short of brass bands. We used to have quite a number, but this is a band and it's known as Dynamic Brass. They don't parade on the road, but we have our chairman and his son both involved with the percussion, and probably, again, an outfit that has never been heard of, but they do compete in band association contests, etc. Dynamic Brass, and hopefully if we've got the timing right, this is them playing Bridge Over Troubled Water.
Dara wishes you all good luck, and may we all see this time next year. Just in case anybody's wondering what his Polish. Very good, Alan. Polish or Walter. Polish. Yes, that's what Polish meant. So I mean, it wasn't abuse. Fair play to him. It wasn't abuse. Just none of us understood it. Google search is a wonderful thing. Though having said that, I've probably understood more Irish there by Googling it than probably about 80% of the Sinn Féin MLAs. But anyway, now, where are we going next? Oh, somebody's going to be happy. Ian?
I could just play this. This is Build My Gallows, and it was from 2013, and hopefully you'll get a positive comment from it.
Achilles Young volunteers. Hopefully that will please. I can't remember who it was asking for earlier. Glenn Miller says he'd love to see some experimenting done with multiple cameras at indoor events. Again, some of the guys are actually, I've seen, I'm almost sure it's on the march, have started playing with that.
Yeah, Neil and Leland have done with the phone and the camcorder at different sides of the band, and then cutting back and forth to it. It was absolutely fantastic to see.
Yeah, so it is, and it's, of course, an indoor is kind of ideal for that. There, the thing, of course, about it means that you need, in order to do it properly, you need 2 good video cameras as well, and those things are expensive. Robert Goldsmith loves Lisa doing Build My Gallows in the Ulster Hall. I have to admit, I love it with that kind of like quick step rhythm. You know, it's I love it a wee bit jazzier. Roy McPeak, what is wrong with you? You said your black marker will be coming out, and a couple of names getting it run over a couple of bands getting run over their names. Who are you giving off about?
Take a guess.
They're just constant. It's
because even though Mr. Chena's back, he hasn't given as much. But Mr. Feely, especially there, is constantly chipping, and it's even getting to the point it's getting to me, and I normally back them.
No comment. Rodney Quigley has told us there's an app called Here to Help, which deals with all kinds of issues affecting people's mental health. It is well worth a download. Please spread word. Absolutely, Rodney. It is a fantastic app, and I've seen that as well. Will Ham says, go ahead, Valerie, give us some sharpshooters. Well, tonight I am not choosing Will. Tonight would have been Lisburn Young Defenders indoor Blood and Thunder contest. And it is a contest, isn't it? You mean there is judges and...
No, just an open night. It's just a good night.
I have to say, I thought with some of the performances there that it actually was being judged, because I mean, yeah, it's quite obvious that they're taking it serious.
But no, there's no judging. It's just a good night. Everybody gets together, and some uniformed, some not uniformed. Some will have full uniforms, some will have indoor uniforms, and you can see again, as we talked about in the Melody Day, I think with Roy a while back, where full uniforms have now sort of moved on towards an indoor uniform for bands, and you can see
lighter shirts and everything. Yeah, no, it always looks well, because I mean it's hot enough in those uniforms, especially under lights and all that kind of stuff. So your Blood and Thunder night takes place in the
lights at Lisburn Indoor. I don't think they paid a light bill there.
Well, it's definitely on in the Melody Day. I actually have been at the Blood and Thunder night before as well, but I know I've definitely been at the Melody Day as well. What was I going to say there? Yeah, so it's been running for 15 years, and it's held in the Lisburn Blues Club. And you say that originally it took place on 2 Saturday nights with 6 bands each night, but you've reduced it now to just the first Saturday in March, and then also added in, of course, the Melody Day as well.
We have, and again, there's so many more indoors have crept up over the years, and so many more events that run on the 2 Saturdays. Quite a bit of organisation to it. It also meant that you doubled up certainly your own period list, and add to that the Melody period list, and the fact that we're going over to Scotland, the different bands as well, and parades in Scotland. It just made the season unmanageable. So the one night and trying to keep the 6 or 7 bands on the one night seemed to be the right recipe.
Yeah, and I always like going to an indoor where it's bands that. My front door's ringing. Somebody's at the door. I always like going to an indoor that's bands not from the local area as well. I always think that's good, because you're seeing somebody different as well. Now, the next band, we've had them on quite a few times, and as you say in your comment, they're recognised as a wee power band.
Yeah. South Fermanagh Young Loyalists, 2012, they made the trip up, and cracking band, no matter where you'd see them, real good, hard-working band, and a good bunch. So we were glad to have them up in 2012.
They certainly are. This is South Fermanagh Young Loyalists. As Caesar said, South Fermanagh are one of the most underrated bands in the country. They really, really are super. And as you say, they're a wee power band. They definitely are. Now, John Mundit says every week he asks for Lark Hall Purple Heroes. And who was the other one? Walham says every week he asks for the Sharpshooters. Let me tell you guys. Let me tell you how this works. We can play 25 bands a night, okay? There are 660 approximately in Northern Ireland alone. And then that's not counting Liverpool, England, Scotland, outside Canada, all those places, right? Never mind the military bands that we include, etc., etc. So in order to cover just Northern Ireland bands, it would take me 26 different shows to play all of them once. Okay. So what we've done, because what we do is we ask people to choose from week to week, and we did go through a phase, and we have managed to cover every band, we believe, at least once, or 99.9% of them we've covered at least once. The difficulty is that we just can't get every band in the one show. So what we've come up with is a viewers request weekend, which luckily for you two happens to be next weekend. So on either Monday or Tuesday, I will put up a post which allows you to suggest your band. Okay, I do it as fairly as I can. If you put in 6 different bands, I'll just use the first one. If there's 2 people puts in the same band, I'll combine it so we can get as many different bands in as possible. However, in order to get your band in those there, you need to keep an eye on the page, and you need to be one of the first 50, because it's a weekend, therefore 2 nights, 50 bands. Best I can do. Best I can do. Both bands have been played before. Unless you are watching it every show without fail, there's a good chance that you'll not be watching on the night that either Sharpshooters or who's the other band? Lark Hall Purple Heroes have been played, because they absolutely have been played. But I cannot wait until you tell me that you're in order to play them, because I know it might seem a bit unbelievable, but we do put a wee bit of prep into this show. I know it doesn't always come across that way, but we do. So once we get on air, shows tunes are already picked, okay? So keep an eye for your viewers' requests, and if you can get inside the first 50, then you will definitely be on. And can I just warn you, you're really lucky that this is tonight that you're saying these things and not Wednesday, because on Wednesday, you might have got a completely different answer. Wednesday was not a good day. Now, moving on. I saw someone actually comment in this band. Was it Colby? Colby said that he thinks this next band are very highly underrated. It is, of course, Pride of the Shore. Why did you pick these ones?
Again, a band that has been there every year, but it's always nice to get somebody different. As we say, in one of Belfast's finest bands, and probably one of the most memorable things we had was that after doing the Belfast Tattoo, a week later was the Pride of the Shores parade. And the band went down, and having been in the SSE Arena a week before, you were down the Shore Road walking around, and the reception we got on the Shore Road was absolutely tremendous. So just a wee touch of that there, that it was great to have the relationship with Pride of the Shore at that time, have them up, and again, a band that's very welcome back again.
Sorry. Don Lee, you're pushing my buttons. Val, great show every week, but if you cut down on the yakking, you'll get more bands in. Only saying. Seriously, Donald. Seriously. Were you watching the Friday before last? Right, let's have Pride of the Shore. No, we've played Pride of the Shore, haven't we? Have we?
No.
We haven't. We're going to play them now. Let's go. That was brilliant. That was really, really nice drum settings in that tune. I really enjoyed that. That was very, very good. And again, they're another one of those bands that are very, very underrated.
Yeah.
They're really, really enjoyed that now. Well, we're going to turn me into an alcoholic. Eddie says Auntie Val needs a gin. Philip upped it and he said she needs the whole bloody bottle. Gary said that I need a bucket of gin. Honest to goodness, guys, I need the whole bloody brewery. Like, honest to goodness, it is wearing at times. Absolutely wearing. And Wednesday, I have to say, I was ready to kick the can down the road in this. Absolutely ready to kick the can, because it doesn't seem to matter what we do in this. It's never good enough. I gave out free CDs that I spent weeks and weeks researching, recording in the production studio. Gave them out for a quiz just as a bit of fun. And because of the box I'm sitting here, right? I was never paid to record it. The way we were paid was by being given a batch of free CDs to sell, right? Some of them didn't sell, so I had them sitting in the house. If you go to Schoenberg House, you buy them. If you go to China's, you buy them. If you go to the Ulster Scotch shop, you buy them, right? I sent them out free. I paid 15 quid for the postage of them, and folks still come on gurning about the fact that they get a free one handed out for the Ulster Scots. Really? Really? Oh, and then people wonder why I lose the plot with comments. Oh, God almighty. Now, I'm getting too warm now. I'm getting heated up. Who have we on next, Roy? Ian, take over, because I just can't keep up anymore.
Even if you don't love pipe bands, you'll love this one. A few years back, Pride of Knockmore brought over Everton and District Pipe Band, and they paraded at Pride of Knockmore's parade and also the Lisburn Mayor's parade the next day. They're definitely different, and this is a clip from 2013 from the Everton and District Pipe Band.
So we managed to get Penny Arcade after all. And on the pipes.
Yep, good stuff.
Sounded well. Listen, guys, I'm not sorry for the rant, but I can stick it for a long time, and I've stuck it for a year. Once I get to my limit, I then blow, and then I'm just like, Roy wants Maltesers. These are all offering me gin. He wants Maltesers. What are you having, Ian? Ian, the wine.
The Lambs. No, I have Mr. Lamb as a friend here.
Honest to goodness, at times you wonder why you bother, and it's. I sometimes think it's so symptomatic of our community. The minute anybody puts their head above that parapet and tries to do something positive, there's always somebody kicking them back down again. Why are we like that to ourselves? Why do we do that? You're going to find it as well, Ian.
Sometimes you just have to move on, but if you let little things sort of niggle you and niggle, They're often very, very minor and small things. Sometimes just you need to just step on, walk on, move on, and let it lie.
No, I take it for a while, and then it's just that final wee straw that breaks my back. Like, I'm not exactly known for not letting you know what I think. So, you know.
Let it out of you if it's coming, and as much as you talked about there earlier, you can't hold it in. But I'm just looking. You wouldn't be taking your coat off in our house. The heat wouldn't be warm enough in here.
It's the temper. It's the temper. I'm sweltered. Some people. Caesar says some people are just jealous. I need to be laid back. Like Caesar, that would get me a bottle of tranquilizers. Never mind the gin. I'm not looking for praise, folk. And Roy is here as much as I am, and I know it annoys him as well. It's just, well, I was going to say Roy's maybe a wee bit quieter and not just as backward about coming forward, but I just, no point thinking it and not saying it. Now, our next band. Oh, I'm looking forward to the next band. Neighbour of yours, Ian.
It is Pride in Knockmore. We're due to celebrate their 45th anniversary in 2020, and obviously turning up at our event was to be one of the events to start a big year for them. But like us all, it had to go backwards. So we hope that we can all celebrate, Pride in Knockmore included, when this is all over. But this is the 2020 event with the lights on and much, much brighter, and a good clip of them.
Brilliant there. Really, really good. Am I right in saying Pride in Knockmore, they're an amalgamation of two bands, aren't they?
No,
Who's that? Who's that? It was one of the Lisburn ones. Balmacash.
Yeah. The Pride of Prince William joined together and that but no, Knockmore were going from sort of mid-70s time and have always kept the one name.
Yeah, they were quite innovative as well in terms of their parade a few years ago, in that they purposely restricted it to a certain number of bands and kept it in a certain area in Lisburn as well. And I know that at the time they were unsure whether it would work, but it did. It seemed to work well.
Seemed to, and in fairness to them, that whoever there talked about Lark called Purple Heroes, they came over a couple of years ago and led it, and they also had Govan Protestant Boys over at it, as well as that Everton Road band, and trying to think, there's an Everton flute band had been over at it. So yeah, in fairness, it's something different. That's what they thought was the way to go forward, and it seems to work for them. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, there's nothing there's nothing wrong with trying something different. You know, you'll never know it works until you try it. Absolutely not. Thank you, Neil. Yes, Pride of Ballymacash. And Alan, I'll get that wee birthday down as well. So do let us know about any birthdays, folks, because we're about 9:20. We'll maybe do the birthdays about 9:30, Roy, if that's okay. So do let us know of your birthdays. David Clyan is watching in Canada. David, lovely to have you on forgive my rant tonight, okay? Like it just has been a bad week. It's the wrong time to make comments like that there. It just blew. Tonight, I love this next band, and I know a few fans of these guys are watching this evening. Do you want to tell us who it is?
Yeah, Clocker Protestant Boys, and always a cracking parade to go back to in Warringstown. It's not a complicated parade, and I suppose if we're looking at counties and places we're travelling to, it's always very difficult to work out. And County Down, County Armagh, just exactly some of those places in around there, they're almost on the borders of different counties. But Clocker itself, cracking wee place in the band, obviously big outfit over the years, and 2013 this clip's from.
Clocker there, lots of people loving it. Vauxhall is also watching from Canada. We have a lot of Canadians in tonight. Welcome to you all. Hope you love it as much as we do. Ian, I'm guessing that in the early years of your event, you didn't have the lights on, but in later years, you discovered that it took for better videos with lights on.
I'm not so sure. I think in the early days of the Blues Club, it was the thing to keep it in darkness and keep out of the road. And now that, well, you see in that clip in Knockmore how much brighter it is and the whole thing. And you know, it's moved on. Videoing has moved on. Photography's moved on. And you can see over the years as how things have developed there.
I have to say that I love watching, you know, like older clips, just because when you do see the difference, I think when you're watching them all the time, you kind of take the newer style for granted. And when you're watching the older clips, you just appreciate how much quality, the style of the video, and absolutely everything has changed over the years. Never mind, I love watching different stuff.
From experience of tonight, I think it took Ian 5 or 6 years to figure out how to work the light switch.
No, it was the DJs, you see, that I've noticed a lot of these DJs have changed. The boy at the best price, and he maybe didn't have good lights with him.
I just gave up the money for the meter.
DJs have all changed, and one of the final one was Big Al's Rock and Roll and Road Show, and then the speakers blew up at the end of it, so that's him healing up the back.
Oh my goodness, Amanda, I'm going to get a wee note of that there one now. Next up, I love your comment on this, Ian. You said after the lockdowns are over, how great would it be to have a ladies' soiree?
Nope, we've one in between. I did
miss one. Sorry. Another band. Yes, tell us about this next band.
That's the one where you and I probably last met, and you were standing under the cut and videoing away at all the bands and had an absolute great night. So from our point of view, we always enjoy going to Downshire's Parade, and it's great to have them. That they've been very regular attenders over the years, and hopefully this clip will show Downshire Guiding Star, one of the really, really busy bands, because obviously they get a lot of bands at their parade. 2016, and this, I hope, is them playing The Soldier.
That was another brilliant clip. I have to say, I love those uniforms. Yeah, really like those uniforms. Very nice and neat. Funny, Eddie Allen's made a really good point there. He says, as a supporter, Knockmore Parade is brilliant because he gets sick and tired of waiting 20 minutes for the next band to come along at other parades. I know bands themselves, you know, like the organisers of parades themselves, they always try to keep the flow of the parade going for their enjoyment and, you know, like for the spectators' enjoyment as much as anything else. But sometimes as you get towards the end of a parade, you're waiting on bands coming from further away. And then that's where gaps can develop. And it's really, I have to admit now, I didn't really notice it or was bothered by it myself until my son was born. And then I was taking him to the parades and trying to entertain toddlers in the car while waiting for a parade that was meant to start at 8. And, you know, the first band reaches you at 8:45. It's not the easiest thing in the world, I have to say. So it probably is.
At least we start at 8 and you get the first band by 8:10.
Yeah, that's grand. That's grand. But, you know, like the Roy, it took me a minute to get that, Roy McPeak. It took me a minute.
And what are you thinking of 5-minute intervals between them, Roy?
There's nothing wrong with it. Just when it extends to 10 minutes between them, that's. I'm saying it's a good thing, Valerie. It's not getting at you. It's a good thing. And people are standing in the street waiting 45 minutes for the first band, where they're sitting in the comfort of their own home. It doesn't matter how long it takes to get to the next band.
Do you know what? Play the next band. I go in and get a gin.
Buy 2 ice creams while you wait for them. Okay, the next one you'll have a laugh, and this is, you always like a bit of accordion. Central Scotland, we paraded in 2019. We'll lead the Central Scotland Parade, and one of the bands and the most noticeable bands in it is Airdrie Argyll Accordion. Cracking accordion band's been going for a long number of years, and this was an event that was held in 2013, and something that it will be interesting to see if we ever get back to it. This is called a ladies' soiree, and it's taken in Airdrie Town Hall.
Stop! Speechless. Speechless. Let's move on. Who's your next band?
Oh dear. 2020, lights on, looking good. Pride of Lagan Valley. We'll get to the out of it. South Belfast. Great to have them up because it also gave us a chance to go back to their day, the day hold down there in Beaver. So absolutely a cracking band again, and one that we definitely welcomed up 2020 there. And down in that direction, as you know, in Shaw's Bridge, that apparently Ken Tate leads the way for them, doing a fantastic job for the band. And apparently if the wind's in the right direction down there, they can actually hear the Miller Memorial practicing.
I'm still in shock for the last tip, sorry. Another super band. Love watching Pride of Lagan Valley. Another band that I really enjoy listening to, and they've got that wee touch of turquoisey blue in their uniform. Eddie says more happy drummers. Eddie, they're concentrating. They're concentrating. I'd say they're maybe close to as talented as and as professional about what they're doing as accordion players. I'm just thinking of that last clip.
It is tough because, as sort of Neil said there, and taking the different views, there are three. The last couple of years, certainly in that one, there were three guys there. Robert Harper from Kilkeel, Adrian from Limavady, and Richard McDonald. When you have three cameras sitting on at the front of the whole thing, there's no doubt it creates a lot of pride. But it also gets some guys used as things go on and competition periods come on during the year to perform at that level. So, yeah. But there's the odd one or two that's still to come. There's a smile or two from them.
I have to admit, I really think it's such. I mean, you look at the young guys in that drum corps, and I think it is such a great confidence builder and an experience builder for them. Being out there, putting themselves out like that,
Right.
in a way that they don't experience in any other sphere of life. If they're on a football pitch, they're way in the middle of the pitch somewhere, but they're up close and personal to people watching them. And it absolutely can get nerve-wracking. I definitely would suffer from nerves as well. Eddie says he always smiles for the camera. You're flitting, Eddie. Do you stop flitting? Is that how you do it? Don't know. Now, let's move on to our next band, Ian.
Yeah. Next band, Pride of Ballymacash, the one you talked about. This is an older production from Ballymacash, 2010, and this is one, I think, of Devil's at the time and when he was doing the recording those days. So it's got all sound and no picture, this one, but at that stage we didn't put 50p in the meter by the looks of it and get the lights on. This is Pride of Ballymacash from 2010.
Definitely proof of how the videoing has changed over the years. I'm not going to say improved, because at that stage that's what was available. And also Devil's watching, so I better not say but Devil, stay you tuned, because we've got a wee special for you. Stay you tuned. Now, after the next tune, we are definitely going to do the birthdays, okay? And also I want to just take a wee second to say hi to Ricky McKinney, Stephen's son, who is one of the many heroes working in the health service, and Ricky is in Causeway Hospital. Thank you to all of you who are doing such a wonderful job for us. Davy Logan says, seeing all these clips reminds me of the many crazy nights in the Bentley. Oh, that was some spot. Many good night we had him. So next band up, and I know this is going to please a lot of people as well, Ian. And then during this tune, give us all your birthdays if you haven't already done so, and we will get them done after this one.
This is a cracking clip, 2011. It was Brian Dean who recorded this one, who around Lisburn at that time was doing a lot of recording and certainly helped a lot of things go forward. 2011, this is Steeple Defenders, and really, really different in what they're doing here.
Brilliant there. And when you think about it, that's 10 years ago, and yet they were quite innovative with their setup on, on stage there. It's, recently you see more bands doing that, but back then that was quite different. Definitely was. That's 10 years ago, and yet they were quite innovative with their setup on, I could hear myself again. Oliver Twist there. Consider yourself at home. Absolutely. And as Joshua says, Oliver Twist is singing as well. Now, time for our birthdays. So we've got a few birthdays in tonight. I was going to say all young folks, and then of course we also have David Craig, who is 60 years young. David's from Bershane, and that comes from Sam Denny. Also to Chloe. It is Chloe's 9th birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Chloe. Hope you are having a wonderful birthday. And I'm told you're a big, big fan of Randallstown Sons of Ulster. I don't think we have them on the programme tonight, but I have promised your dad that the next time I get to pick that I will include them, especially for you. Also to Neil McCarthy, it is his birthday on the 9th, and that comes from all of the family. John Payla, just see your comment there. It's his birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday to you as well, John. Stuart Murphy, it's your birthday as well, and good luck wishes come to you from Alan Knox. Eddie and Roberta Baird's grandson and Amanda's son Jack is 7 tomorrow. Oh my goodness, I hope you've got loads of cake ready for him tomorrow. And then Riley Donnell is 9 today, and that comes from Caroline Sturb. Riley is Caroline's grandson. So happy birthday to all of you. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday. And that you have is Sheila Golker's 75th birthday today. I think we did actually say happy birthday to Sheila last night, but we're delighted to say it again tonight. So happy birthday to you all. And here is your serenade from the Muskehounds.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday from the forum. Happy birthday to you.
Still makes me smile. Happy birthday to Sam Wright. It's your 3rd birthday. That comes from Geraldine Stewart. And also happy birthday to Davy Logan's nephew in London, who is 8 today. And Neil, if you think that I'm going to fall for wishing a happy birthday to Ivor Biggin, then not that daft. Not that daft. Pipe band up next, Ian. 2 pipe bands tonight. My goodness, we're spoiling them.
Well, you asked for a couple of something different on it. This one, particularly, the wee link in the band, there's one of our drummers actually involved in this band, but the man who's involved and has taught an awful lot of people, Sammy Smith, lives outside Dramara in a place called Grantia. And Sammy would get a serious amount of drums, particularly Andante drums, in from Blood and Thunder bands to tune them, etc. And dear love him, he'll do his best and get these drums all squared up and all tuned and all playing well. And within a matter of weeks, they're getting banged, bashed and hammered. So Sammy hasn't been that well recently, but this is a clip from a band again. I don't think you'd ever had them on. Grantia Pipe Band, particularly drum corps in Newcastle in 2019.
When I wanted something different, I was thinking like accordions.
Oh, they're to come.
brilliant there. I think I've just learned, is the lead drummer of pipe corps always in the middle?
Don't know enough about it, but in that case, I think it is, and the others will all watch it. I've looked at some others.
Yeah, the fact that they're kind of like in a V shape means that they can all kind of see him as well. What was going to say to Ian, have watched the young girl that led you over the years. She is now a beautiful young woman. She is excellent, and that's from Myrtle. I'll just say it's not a male perving on her, it's from a lady. Stephen Feely he says, a sensible question for you, a serious question. Has any melody band ever come to your Blood and Thunder night and played a Blood and Thunder set?
No, they don't get invited. There are two separate events. The invitations to the Blood and Thunder go only to Blood and Thunder bands, and the including bands from South Belfast who got invited regularly.
Who could
So
that be?
they come along to the Melody Day and play a Blood and Thunder set if they want. But no. Question.
Would that be Miller by any chance? Do they never attend your contest?
Yeah, I'll go and look and see the second, but I know a big fella that plays in the back row at the back corner, and the boy I've known for a long number of years. And while he did show a limited enthusiasm, unfortunately, we got the Dear John letter, so that's how it is.
Who's our next band then, Ian?
Okay. Good tune, UDR4, played by Upper Band Fusiliers from Lurgan. Small band, great enthusiasm, 2020, and a tune that very much in their own area was reflective. So UDR4 by Upper Band Fusiliers.
I love this tune. That was really good. Very small flute core, but they certainly held their own against a powerful bass drum and the four in the drum corps. Well done there, Upper Band Fusiliers. And you've got another Fusiliers for us up next.
I have, and this one's a good one because a couple of mates with Phasers involved in this. That Carl and Chappie would be certainly bass drummers within the Lisburn Fusiliers, but a bit like Caesar, they're probably getting a stage where they need a rest. And none other than Laura Smith, cracking flautist that plays with herself now and again. But this is a clip with Laura Smith on the bass drum for Lisburn Fusiliers, and done a great job.
Brilliant, Laura. Well done. Girl power. Do you want to explain, Ian?
She's grown a bit bigger. Lucky enough, it's hiding behind the bass drum, but she's grown a bit bigger and a bit wilder. However, if you really want to have a search through YouTube, you will find a clip of Laura Smith somewhere playing the bass drum for Lisburn Fusiliers.
So apologies to Laura for identifying her as that gentleman playing the bass drum, but well done to you for doing it. Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. Sorry?
Move on.
It's all very professional here, very professional.
I sent the link, so it's definitely hands up. Not the right link, obviously.
Don't worry about it. Well, it's not as if there's never any mistakes happening this any other time. Like, I mean, you know. Now, up next is a band that I know will please quite a few. We had a clip of the Old Boys on last night.
Now, when I was growing up, one of the original LP sleeves in those days was Portadown Defenders, a bass drum and the hat on it, and this and that and the other. And cracking to see bands, still as good as they ever were. And it's always great. It used to fall this on the semi-finals of the Irish Cup. And Portadown would have done quite well in the Irish Cup. And you always got the sort of last-minute messages of, we're not sure what sort of a band's going to turn up here tonight. But always cracking entertainment, real good bunch of guys, and one we enjoyed. Portadown Defenders.
Brilliant there, absolutely fantastic from Portadown Defenders, and of course pleasing Adam. Adam is very happy with that clip. Can I just say that I know this may come as a surprise to you because it like never happens, but we're going to overrun tonight. It's hard to believe this show started off as an hour, then extended to an hour and a half. We're now running regularly 2 hours, sometimes running over to about 2.5 hours. It just goes to show you that we are trying to cram in as much as we can. And I talk. Big tickle. I talk. But stay with us. Don't be leaving us because there's still some cracking bands to come. There's only another 6 bands to come. So don't be going anywhere because you'll miss bands as good as this next one. I love this next clip. And I remember whenever I was actually at the event and it going on, I just thought, brilliant stuff. But knowing this family, I didn't expect anything else.
Now, I think this was in 2011, and when we were getting ready for this, we were told, look, best behaviour, get in, be sensible about it. And they did say, Quincy will be all right, but there's a little bit wrong about the place, and just watch you don't get on the wrong side of her. So at that stage, nobody really knew what was going on, and best behaviour, in we went, we opened the event, and the long said, well, cracking night, I think, because Brookborough were there, Omar were there, Downshire were there, Pride of the Main, Real good night and whatever. And then the accordions came on, and dear love the Dixon family, they were trying to adhere to the sensible approach. And unfortunately, Jeffrey wasn't having it. So if we've got the right clip here, as you said, this is a cracking clip.
Stand up and let's have a march, people. Let's have fun. Just get up and have fun.
Do you know there was an awful lot of thought went into the band selections that we had at each one of the shows to make sure that we covered all the counties, that we covered all the genres, and that we had the different styles of fun and all that kind of stuff. And we kind of knew that Corbett would pull something out of the hat because we know them. And we know, like how good, and we also know how they can bring the crowd along with them. And like Ballycraigie Isle Boys were asked for exactly the same reason. We tried to fit everything. And someone had asked, was there ever any Northwest Limavady Coleraine bands ever play at the function over the years? Yes, there absolutely was. I can't name them all offhand, but I know the first year. Was it the first year with Drumahagels? Or the second year with Drumahagels? But there definitely was bands obviously from this local area. That might have been a bias on my behalf, but there definitely was. Eddie Torney says that playing on that stage with the crowd clapping is a nightmare. It absolutely is. It really is, because the acoustics in that hall are mental, absolutely mental. Who's up next, Ian?
A band is having far too much fun doing what they're doing. Pride of the Hillrath Fryland, 2014, playing King Billy's on the Wall. So anybody who wants to see drummers smile, these boys are far too happy. And no doubt these were drums that were out-tuned and etc., and were out of tune by the time these boys were finished. Pride of the Hillrath Fryland.
I think there may be a wee bit of competition going on in them boys in the second row. Not too sure about that there, but I just get that impression.
Didn't know Prince Harry played the drum.
Sorry?
Didn't know Prince Harry played the drum.
Yes. Ian says at least you get Laura in that clip.
It did. Yep, Laura was not one at the back there at the disco.
Oh, right. I thought you were going to tell me she was in the bass drum, and I wasn't even watching.
She was sitting as a DJ in that one in the disco. So.
Multi-talented lady. Absolutely multi-talented lady. You're going to stay in County Down for the next one?
No, we're just down the road, Ballyhinch Protestant Boys. This is an Addy Prod clip, and great to see Adrian come down 2019, all the way from Limavady. But another cracking band, Ballyhinch Protestant Boys.
Eddie does some brilliant clips. He really does. One of the ones I always look for whenever I'm looking for bands for kind of this side of the mountain. Wee bit of Garth Brooks there. Roy, you could have had that in your night of, well, I suppose, will it come under the banner of pop tunes or not? But at least it would be in that sort of general area. But again, innovation by bands, which I just think is wonderful to see. Someone had asked for any outdoors tonight. Well, tonight is all picked by Ian because tonight should have been Lisburn Young Defenders Blood and Thunder night. So instead, we're doing a COVID Blood and Thunder night for Lisburn Young Defenders. So all the clips, with the exception of a few in between, are all clips of various bands that performed over the years.
If you wanted the outdoor Dunseverick Accordion and the Grantia Pipe were on there, they were outdoor.
Forgot about them. Now the next band.
Next band, Orange and Blue from Donaghcloney. Again, one of those sort of areas and that Lurgan Ban Bridge and around there. Cracking band, always used to hold a good parade. They've sort of held their parade back this last couple of years. But again, they come up and again, it's fantastic to see so many young people involved with this band. So this is 2020 Black Skull and Blue.
No, we don't have that on the list. We have Billy's Mills next.
Right, well, we'll have to apologise to Black Skull and put that onto our own page, but no, it was on it. It's on the printout that I have here, but however, at this stage of the night, let's not worry.
Sorry, I must have missed that one. That's entirely down to me, but it's the next one I have is the same as what Valerie has.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, we'll go on to a very quick story, and this is Devil in the middle of it as well. It's roughly 50 years since Bailey's Mills Accordion last bought a set of side drums. And when they were going to the Somme, they suddenly realised that they needed new drums. And to buy new drums just wasn't going to happen and get them in time. So I suppose in a way here to show how bands can help each other, they contacted Devil. He knew we had drums for sale. He came up, was the link in between the thing, and our 6 drums were taken down to Procore, stripped off, rebadged, etc., etc. and the drums. In fact, we have now had to cancel the Menin Gate twice. So our old drums actually appeared at the Menin Gate before the Lisburn Young Defenders have. But the clip of Bailey's Mills was a cracker clip. Again, it's a band that's only out the road, one that's not seen all that often. But that's the story behind the Bailey's Mills at the Menin Gate.
Super accordion band. Good picking.
Okay.
Absolutely gorgeous arrangement there. Some beautiful, beautiful chord formations coming through, and that there really, really well done to Bailey's
I
Mills.
must admit,
Beautiful.
even I like that one.
Yay! Hugh Streen is watching from Australia, and he said that was beautiful. Loads. Brian Goody says that's the one I've been on about for months. Beautiful, amazing, my total favorite. Very emotive, says Carol Porter. Lots of people really enjoying that. Absolutely brilliant. And there was a comment earlier on. David Cowan, who is in Canada, is laughing at the closed captions translation with the accents. So your 6 drums come out of 6 drones. The captions just cannot cope with our accents whatsoever, and has caused quite a lot of hilarity over the weeks with the different translations. Now, next up is Loyal Sons of Benna.
I'd like to see what that's going to translate to because I'll not understand that one. Cracking band, 2019. And again, it was brilliant for us to be able to go back down to Newry, first time for a very long time in around Newry, and go and support them down there. It's a great parade, very much. So the Loyal Sons were up, and a great crowd of them up in 2019.
It's always good to see them getting support down there because it's not easy in Newry. excellent there from Loyal Sons of Brenna playing Will You Stand. I love that song anyway, Will You Stand. Someone had PM'd me asking why the accordion had moved. So the accordion is now here purely because I was doing some recording today for the upcoming Lockdown CVD being produced by Brunswick. So keep an eye for it. The list of tunes that are going to be on it. There's some fantastic cracking tunes. A couple of marches that I've never played before. And I have to say, it doesn't matter how perfect you can play it until you press the record button, and then everything goes to the pits. Now, up next, this will keep Councillor Quigley happy. Absolutely, because it is.
This is Ballykeel Loyal Sons of Ulster, 2019. And again, we were sort of blown away with this, that this looks to have been watched over 6,500 times. And when you look at it, an indoor event in Lisburn, just a night's crack between bands, people and that sort of thing, it does show the network that's there, the people that enjoy it. And this is a cracking selection, there's no doubt. So the Corey and all the boys up there in Ballykeel, and I know Russell puts a lot of work in as well, and Rab and those boys. That definitely this was really a great selection of Ballykeel Loyal Sons of Ulster.
They are a really popular band. I'm not surprised it's got those number of hits. They're super popular. Ballykeel there, lots of people talking about the league tip and how he's enjoying himself. There's obviously quite strong pipe band roots in that drummer for sure. The way the shoulders are going. Absolutely brilliant there by Ballykeel. Now, what I was told to do was to watch in the background of that clip, because there's a story behind it, isn't there, Ian?
There is, and a band that has supported us from the very start and turns up every year, Kilcooney Volunteers, and we're delighted because it gives us a chance to go back and the first Friday in June. It's unlikely maybe this year, but to go down to Kilcooney and be involved in their parade. And again, a relevance to Pride of Lagan Valley. Each year they have a competition, Who's the Daddy? And for quite a number of years now, Bailey has been winning that. But on that particular night, whatever the mix-up was, that as Kilcooney arrived and Ballykeel arrived and doing whatever Kilcooney wanted on to play, and Ballykeel were on before them. So Bailey wasn't that happy. And as you saw at the side of the whole thing there, he was having a wee look at that Ballykeel bass drum and saying, that's not how a bass drum should be played. I'll show you how it should be played. So between it all, this is a clip which has almost 10,000 views, and again, blown away bad. But this is Blood and Thunder in the absolute traditional style of bass drumming with Kilcooney Volunteers. So
just before we play this clip, this is our last clip of the night. Ian, thank you so much for choosing the tunes this evening. I think everyone can agree it's been a great selection of mainly Blood and Thunder, more Blood and Thunder than we normally have, put it like that. But it was only appropriate to mark what should have been your indoor event that should have been happening this weekend. So thank you very much. And also thank you for coming on with us. It's always nice to have someone other than my voice.
To blame anyway, but one of the things I tried to do, and we went through this, I think the only two bands that we couldn't cover was North Fermanagh from Kesh and Castledurg. We couldn't find any clips from them, but over the years they had travelled up, and it probably shows, and you would know it through the UBF, of bands going about travelling around the country to support each other and going to events and having a real good night, and bus journeys that you can't remember where you were and how you got home and that sort of thing. But hopefully we'll get back to doing it again, and very much appreciate the UBF tonight and the Roy for your help for putting this together and giving us a chance. And hopefully everybody's enjoyed it. Try to do it that we can have a laugh, enjoy it. Ulster Hall, whatever there. It'd be great to see the Ulster Hall packed again and bands in the middle of it. So thank you for what you're doing and really appreciate it tonight. Thank you.
Listen, they've had absolutely everything tonight. Accordion, brass, pipes, loads of Blood and Thunder, even a rant. What more could they want? Thank you, everyone, for watching. We've had great numbers the whole evening. So don't forget, next weekend is going to be Viewer's Choice. Keep an eye in the forum. It's going to be either Monday or Tuesday. I can't say for sure because it is literally just going to be when I remember. But keep an eye, and first 50 bands will get played next weekend. In the meantime, make sure to join us next week. Stay safe during the week and keep the flutes to the myth, boys, because we're coming to the tune.
It was when England's glorious sun in 1688 was overcast with treason's cloud and popery stood elate, that up arose her Protestants, the peasant and the peer, and vowed the chain of perjure James that they would not dainty wear. They sought them out a prudent chief to guide their ardent zeal, to lead them on that victory might bless their flashing steel. And who so fit to guide that host in all its bright array as William, Prince of Orange, ere he landed at Torbay? Then up arose the mighty chief and left his native shore, and rode upon the stormy waves our freedom to restore. Upon his flag was blazoned forth high fluttering o'er the main, that our religion and our laws he ever would maintain. 'Twas then in gallant style he stood upon the vessel's prow, with victory on his flashing sword and wisdom on his brow. And tens of thousands greeted him upon his natal day, when he, our glorious Orange chief, first landed at Torbay. Come, brethren of the Orange bond, a bond ne'er to be riven. Whene'er we give great William's name, a bumper must be given. For if you'd fire a feu de joie to him who victory won, come prime and load and see you get charge into your gun. The eloquence of bumpers full there's nothing can surpass. There's not expresses kindred soul like friendship's social glass. And thus we give our song and toast with 3 times 3 huzzah, the memory of King William and his landing at Torbay. The memory of King William and his landing at Torbay.